Hey there, it's meteorologist Jamie Singleton. We are live here on a Monday morning, and we are looking at some freezing rain moving into the area. I'm looking at a poor internet connection. I'm not sure what's going on with that. Maybe Kevin can pull up Facebook in the background there and see if we're getting out okay. Um, but anyway, we're looking at some freezing rain and some sleet, mainly just freezing rain moving in from the southwest. The rain snow line is fairly close to the Franklin County area. You also see some reports of freezing rain down here to the south and even some sleet down across the Carolina. So as long as Kevin, you're seeing something, I guess we're good. Um, I'm just in the yellow and orange over here on OBS, but I think we're okay. But this activity is moving up to the northeast. It's associated with a weak surface low. Doesn't have a lot of energy with it. We were on Patreon telling you about this about 7 to 10 days ago, that we will be in this pattern where we have to watch things very carefully. And indeed, something has kind of blown up on us. It's not really surprising in that it's just more of a tricky forecast, because this is coming through when it's 25 degrees out at the TV station and temperatures are in the teens and 20s across the area. So had this waited for the afternoon, we wouldn't have a problem. But right now the surfaces are very, very cold. So let's say we get just a trace of freezing rain. We're going to see bridges and overpasses, decks, sidewalks, cars ice over. And it's going to be very treacherous, especially if you're inside and you go to run some errands today. You may not even see that there's ice out there. It may look wet, but then you slip, you end up on a fail armory video if you don't watch out. So driving too, be very, very careful. Black ice is one of the more dangerous things we have, because in a winter storm, you're ready for it. You see the snow on the ground, the plows are out. This is one of those cases where it looks harmless and it's very tricky, and things begin to happen and get slippery on you in a real quick hurry. But all the way down into North Carolina, this wedge is setting up here, and it's helping to create the freezing rain conditions that we have. So the leading edge is getting right up to the studio right now. And again, some of this is going to fall as sleet and snow, and that's because the rain snow line, at least aloft, is a little bit farther to the northwest. Here it is on our GR Earth, or our WSV3 program there. We'll let the temperatures update. You see the surface temperatures are in the 20s, but the actual blue line right there, that's where the rain and the snow is in the upper layers of the atmosphere. So if you go up to about 5,000 feet, the temperature is actually about 35 degrees. It's not until you get closer to the Roanoke Valley area, the Allegheny Highlands, and the southwest mountains that you see temperatures below freezing up into clouds. And so the northwest fringe of this is going to fall as a little bit of snow. We're talking under an inch probably. We're talking about maybe a coating of sleet and freezing rain under a quarter of an inch for the rest of the area. But you can see how temperatures are well below freezing. We're at 34 in Raleigh, but if I put on the temperatures here in a more dense fashion, you will see that as we zoom on in toward Martinsville at 30, seeing some wintry precipitation falling there. Lynchburg's at 30. I'm worried about Lynchburg. Even locations out here toward south side, locations that we normally don't worry about all too much. Danville, in the Eden and Reedsville, past Charlotte Courthouse, you're looking at temperatures at 28 to 32 degrees. So there's going to be some slick roads, no doubt, in that area. And as a matter of fact, if we go to VDOT, you will find that pavement temperatures, our sensors that we're getting from VDOT, show 32 degrees around the Roanoke Valley area. I-77 showing 30 to 32 degrees. So yeah, road conditions could go downhill, and in fact the road conditions have deteriorated just enough to where you're seeing minor conditions now on 58 around the Danville area, and also going through Pittsylvania County as you go toward Chase City and South Central Virginia. There's actually minor conditions. Let's see if we can pull up the camera here. You can see it just looks wet at the moment, but there are some slick spots, no doubt, especially on those bridges and overpasses. So the key today is to take it very slow and treat the road as if it is a sheet of ice. Don't make any sudden movements. Don't brake suddenly. Don't turn suddenly. And again, this is not a winter storm per se, as much as it is just a small event, almost like a nuisance event, but the impacts are still something to watch for. Now, the wrap model has that wintry mix, and you can see all of this on my Patreon page, but just to show you, that'll continue through the late morning hours. May start to see some snow mix in across the NRV and parts of Franklin County as well, a little bit of sleet as well. And eventually by mid-afternoon, things will start to warm on up above freezing. We'll just end it with some drizzle and some light rain, we think, by around 3 or 4 o'clock, and then the low will pull away. You can see it right there near the Outer Banks. So it's a good setup for wintry weather. It's just one of those borderline setups where we didn't know if the moisture was going to get in here or not. We missed the one yesterday. It went out to sea for Sunday. I was watching that carefully. There's about 2 more lows after this one that we have to watch for the rest of the week. And then there's something coming up for the weekend. I don't think the rest of the week's going to be all that bad after we get through today. But we are going to be looking at maybe a system coming up for Sunday that we'll have to watch there as well. So watching the potential for some ice across the area. This is the latest HER model, and again it shows that purple area there. This is North Carolina around the Greensboro area for the next several hours. And again, Floyd County, you may see some snow around the Blue Ridge Parkway and even up to around Galax, some spotty sleet and some snow. But then it turns over the rain this afternoon, so things will start to clear on up a little bit. This is where the National Weather Service has their winter weather advisory, and they keep expanding this north and west. So that's somewhat alarming in that they initially had this down into North Carolina, and they're putting a trend on this stuff right now. So earlier this morning, I put an update out that included the South Side area, did not include Franklin and Floyd counties at the time, did not include Lynchburg. Now we do have Lynchburg included. Slick travel is likely because of this very light sleet and freezing rain predominantly. Now on the northwest side, again, Floyd County up to I-77 and Grayson County, you may see some snow mixed in, but the snow's not going to be the big story here. It's going to be that glaze of ice, and this is in effect until 1 o'clock today. So we've got about 4 hours to go, but because it's the morning rush and people are trying to get to where you need to go for the day, take it extra careful, be careful on bridges and overpasses, leave some space between you and the car in front of you and allow for some extra time to get to your destination. And if you don't have to be on the roads, if it can wait till this afternoon, maybe wait till after 1 o'clock. For the next several hours, temperatures are certainly cold enough to support the mix as it's moving into the area. Here it is on the GR Earth, as I promised you here. I've got some of the reporting stations on so you can again see, and we'll stop the loop so it doesn't go crazy on us. You can see the northwest edge is showing up as a little bit of snow, but the areas here in the pink, we've got light reports of freezing rain. Everywhere you see that icon is a report of just some glaze, a little bit of sagging trees there in elevated surfaces, Davidson County, Guilford County, North Carolina. Trees and surfaces in Oak Ridge have a glaze, accumulation of 0.05 inches, very minimal amounts of ice. But again, it only takes a trace to cause problems. And that's in North Carolina from Reedsville down to Hickory and Statesville into the mountains of North Carolina. So it appears this is going to follow these brown lines here and probably scoot just across the south side area. Again, Rocky Mountain south, maybe up to Roanoke and Lynchburg. It's going to go right up to about 460, and then it'll move closer to Farmville, Richmond, and Appomattox as well. We've also got snow being detected in Oxford, North Carolina. More than likely that is sleet and getting some chilled effect with the dew points being very low. That's one thing that's helping to keep the cold air in. These dew points that are in the teens, the precipitation's evaporating as it falls into the air, and it's locking in that cold air, just like when you get out of the bathtub and you feel colder because the water's evaporating off your skin, and that takes away the heat. So that's what we're looking at. Temperatures again at or below freezing, and this wave of moisture that'll last about 3 or 4 hours, creating some slick travel out there. I'll have more updates on Patreon. We're going to do some family stuff in the meantime. My grandfather passed away yesterday, so we're meeting with the funeral home folks at Flora. But we are just, I wanted to let you know that we are okay. We expected that to happen, and he's in a better place. But thanks for your thoughts and prayers, and be careful out there today. Areas north of Roanoke may see a few scattered flurries and snow showers. New River Valley, you may get a little light snow today, but predominantly 460 and south of Roanoke, south of Bedford, south of Lynchburg, but including those three areas, and also Martinsville, Danville, you need to be on the lookout for those slick road conditions and a trace of sleet and a coating of glaze there as well.